lovely and darling viewers, it's Jen here at Check Her Joy. This time I'm reviewing Be More Chill by Ned Vizzini. This is a young adult contemporary novel about a kid, Jeremy, who is a complete nerd and totally socially awkward, but he ends up taking this pill that has a supercomputer in it that tells him how to be popular and cool and how to be more chill. There's also a musical based off of this, and I'm going to talk about both towards the end, but sticking with the book first. Jeremy is a complete, total nerd, kind of a hopeless case. He actually keeps these humiliation sheets where he keeps track of exactly how big a nerd he is, and everything he does that is embarrassing, or where he gets made fun of in school. And he's not exactly subtle about it. His classmates have definitely noticed, making him even weirder of a kid. He's kind of a likable nerd. He really is into video games, and he's like best friends with his friend Michael. He's also a nerd. So as an adult reading this and thinking about to my own high school years, probably Jeremy and Michael aren't as bad off as they think they are. Like if they tried a little harder and didn't have competitions to see who had the most dandruff in their hair, they could probably turn it around and at least make a middle standing. But they kind of revel in their dorkiness a bit too much. They are both completely obsessed with girls but don't know how to obtain them, and there is a lot of talk about sex and masturbating and pornography, especially in the book, to the point that it's really cringeworthy. Like, yeah, that's totally a thing that teenage boys do, but I didn't need to know it in such detail. Thanks. We could have. The musical, this is one thing the musical does really well, is that it mentions it at the beginning of the thing and then just moves on, whereas it's kind of this constant thing, especially in the beginning of the book, which was not my favorite. One weird thing about the book is that there is a lot of swearing going in here, but they never actually explicitly write out the words, but instead they leave you the number of dashes that there are letters and fill in some of the letters, and it's really weird. Like this paragraph right here, I don't know if you guys can read that, but like, you can tell what the swear words are supposed to be, so what is the point of blocking them out? And why give us the exact number of dashes, and why put in letters in the middle? And I don't understand. I don't like the way that it dealt with swearing. Like, either put the swear words in, or blank out the entire swear word. Like, this weird middle ground is so awkward. Did not like. So getting back to the actual plot and characters, Jeremy is obsessed with this girl, Christine, in school. She is the star of the drama program, and so she tries out for the school play, which is Midsummer Night's Dream, and Jeremy decides to also try out for the play so he can be close to Christine. And actually, he's not doing too bad, first of all. He sits down, he talks to Christine, but he's freaking out because he's basically being friend-zoned, and he doesn't know how to get out of it. So when the school bully, named Rich, offers him a chance to become popular by taking this magic pill that'll make everything great, he is super tempted and decides to do it. He and Michael both know that this is maybe not the best idea, but then he's like, Rich has been taking it and it clearly worked for him, so I'm going to do it too. So Jeremy goes out, he obtains a squib, takes it, and suddenly he has this microprocessor in his brain talking to him constantly and telling him what he should do at every choice he makes. There is an algorithm that the computer processes to tell him what he should do in each situation. So the script himself is kind of interesting. The computer, he is trying to make Jeremy the best possible version of Jeremy he can be, and working within the popularity coding of a high school and how to make him popular. Also, the script, because it can do so many computations and stuff, is helping him get his homework done and learn his lines for the play, and basically the script just does the work stuff for him. So mostly we're following the social stuff that turns Jeremy from a complete nerd into one of the most popular kids in school, or at least running with the popular kids in school. And Christine definitely notices him. Some of this is really cringeworthy and awkward. Some of the advice the script gives is probably not the best. Not all of human interaction can be boiled down into, algorithms, I guess. And things start spiraling out of control, otherwise we wouldn't have a very interesting book or musical. Some of the greatest comedy in this book is when the script starts malfunctioning. Things like alcohol and drugs tend to knock it out completely, and it'll just like start spitting out words in Spanish or something, or complete and utter nonsense, which was really highly entertaining. So this book does have that entertainment factor to it. There's definitely like a solid chemistry between Jeremy and Christine that makes it a good love story. But on the whole, the book itself ended up only getting 3 stars from me. I liked the premise, I liked the characters, but the execution was just lacking. It was like a substandard, like it's this pretty like meh YA novel. The whole, like, there is way too much talk about sex in here. The way that cursing is dealt with in here was not my favorite. Jeremy makes a lot of cringeworthy decisions, and they're probably realistic to how an actual teenager would react, but it's not really my favorite part of YA literature and why I don't read a lot of contemporary novels. The book itself ended up given 3 stars. It's a solid read. It's worth checking out. But the musical is where this really shines. So the musical takes the book and just puts it on stage with amazing musical numbers. It's a lot showier, it's a lot more fun, it's a lot more entertaining, a lot funnier. There are some adaptations of characters. So like in the book, Jeremy's got 2 parents, his mom and his dad is just weird because he's weird. He runs around the house naked and just completely embarrassing Jeremy. In the book, or in the musical, Jeremy's dad is having a complete and total breakdown because his wife left him, and now he's having to be a parent on his own, and he's kind of shutting down and running around in his underwear, because it's a show. We're not going to have him run around naked, thankfully. So there's a switch in the dad, and the dad becomes a stronger character, especially towards the end when he like mans up to be the good dad. There's also some changes like combining characters in the book to simplify it for stage. Like we don't need quite as many popular kids. We can break up the student body, simplify it, have one character represent multiple characters in the book. And Christine's also a way better character in the musical. She gets to have her moments more, and because it's not all from Jeremy's perspective, we get to see Christine and the girls more, and they're hilarious. Anytime they show up, they're great. Especially Christine completely steals the show and is amazing. She totally takes that dramatic flair she has in the book and just runs with it in the musical. The main difference is the script itself, though. So the script's motivation in the book is that it's trying to make Jeremy's life the best thing it possibly can. Making him popular, making him better at school, helping him with the girls. All of it's because the script is trying to help Jeremy. Whereas the script in the musical kind of has a slightly different motivation. From the moment we first see the script, it's a little bit more sinister. He employs way more like peer pressure onto Jeremy constantly, and by the end of the musical we've gone off in a completely different direction, and the script basically loses it, not because of just drugs, but because the script basically becomes power hungry when Jeremy tries to fight back, and it completely spirals out. So like the ending looks amazing on stage, but it feels incredibly less realistic. So I kind of like the book ending slightly more, but on the other hand, the musical also has a more solid, like, this is how everything resolves itself, whereas the book is a little more open-ended. Obviously, the best part of the musical is the songs, and my favorite one is probably the pants song, which Jeremy's dad sings about having to put on his pants and go help save his son in the day, which is hysterical. Also, Christine has a great one when we first meet her about the rehearsals and stuff. So I highly recommend the musical. I think I would give that 5 stars. The musical is a good, faithful adaptation. It still feels like it's Jeremy, just, amped up because we're on stage and there's music. So let's play with that, which I loved. So the musical's my favorite of these 2. Let me know in the comments below if you've read, seen, or listened to these and what you thought of them. Do you have any similar reads or watches that I should be paying attention to? Yeah. So, peace out. I love you guys, and keep reading. Bye!